So Ripple are working with 40 to 50 central banks. Moneygram partnered with Walmart to create Walmart's new business model, Walmart to World. What does that mean for XRP? And finally, the riddle that the whole entire XRP community are talking about and are going crazy for. Do you feel the Hey YouTube, welcome back to Love for Crypto. So we've got a bit of an exciting episode today. Quite a few good news articles that have been around Ripple at the moment, and also obviously this riddle that we're going to be talking about. So what we're going to do, we'll jump straight into it. Ripple being connected with Walmart Moneygram deal. Well, this is very interesting, as we all know. Ripple not long ago announced that it was in production with Moneygram, testing the XRP system. Obviously not long after that, Western Union followed. But as you can see here, Walmart Moneygram deal. So there's been a deal connected. I'll just have a quick read of this for you. I'll try not to bore you. I know it can be boring reading articles. News of Walmart's new service hasn't settled in yet, but Ripple XRP is already being connected to it. The business behemoth recently launched a money transfer service akin to its hugely successful Walmart to Walmart money transfer. Well, we know what a good rumour could be like, but this one appears to have sprinkles of truth around. To facilitate the new global service, the US giant has enlisted the services of Moneygram to provide users with an easier and low-cost way to send money. Though details are scant and doesn't mention it, speculation is that this will involve Ripple's XRP. So as you can see there, Walmart clearly have got a business model that they're trying to work on. People who don't know about Walmart are, I think if I'm not mistaken, shall I say, I think Walmart are the biggest retail company in respect of stock listings on the stock market, and in respect of actual volume of products that they actually move worldwide. Walmart are massive. I mean, we even see sprinkles of Walmart over here in the UK. I know it's a US-based company, but again, it's massive. Moneygram have tweeted here, we're excited to partner with Walmart to launch Walmart to World, powered by Moneygram. Customers can send money from Walmart US to an MGI location in 200 countries. Read more here. So, Moneygram, these figures being thrown about, no one can ever be too certain, but I think Moneygram, you move on average around 2 billion a day. So obviously if that was to go through the XRP product, that would be absolutely massive as an XRP token holder or an investor. So that's great news in respect to that. There's no talks about Ripple in this at the moment, but as we all know, there is disclosures signed from Ripple where they can't actually talk about certain aspects of partnerships that they have. We all know that Moneygram are under current testing at the moment of the XRP platform. But if you have to facilitate the facts of Walmart are absolutely massive. They're a massive business in the United States, and it's just again connecting all those dots again. It's massive for Walmart to be able to produce a payment service that as it says here, in respect of with an easy and low cost way to send money. Again, we have to look at scalability, and there's only one real digital asset out there that can really function in that respect, and that is definitely Ripple. I mean, me personally, I'm getting a little bit overexcited about this. I think Moneygram probably send around 2 billion a day. I think with a Walmart partnership as such like this, I think you could quite easily see that double. The amount of people that are in Walmarts that could just have the ease of use to send money to whatever country that they want at a low cost, at a fast speed. It is all starting to make sense again. I think, like I say, it's going to be a very exciting year for Ripple moving forward on blockchain as a whole. It's absolutely great. I'll just read into it here. Moneygram has already partnered with Ripple via its XRP solution to achieve a similar objective in its international money transfer business. Walmart's new service called Walmart to World will similarly provide wire services to its customers around the world. It's not yet official, but it's quite easy to see how XRP can fit into this scenario. So as I just said again, in respect of scalability, in respect to that transaction speed, and don't forget Ripple have just actually disclosed that it will be around 1 second once the Cabal protocol is fully implemented into the system. It's just looking very promising. The Ripple net provides 3 crucial factors that could make the initiative attractive to both the companies involved and the customers. That's speed, low fees and scalability. Walmart to World seeks to have its users send money via Moneygram to 200 countries at the same cost across all regions, and fees that should remain consistently low. Again, with the XRP, as it goes on to say here, per transaction. It's micro dust. It's 0.00001 XRP, and I think that's a fraction of a cent. I think it's like I think it's like a third of a cent, I think, if I'm right. So the service will be launching in all the 4,700 Walmart stores across the US. If it happens that XRP is involved in its latest financial partnership, then Ripple's growing influence wouldn't be in doubt. At the moment, it's a let's wait and see scenario, and it's always been the case with Ripple. If you are a holder of Ripple, we all know that it can be frustrating at times, you know, hearing about these partnerships and then not hearing nothing from them for a couple of months. But let's just let Ripple work at what they're doing. You know, if you've invested into Ripple, I'd like to think that you're invested in for the long term. As you can see, the prices are very, very poor at the moment. There's a lot of talk about the manipulation in the cryptocurrency asset markets at the moment, which I think every market, whether that's stock markets, you know, whether it's Forex, whether it's cryptos, I think there's some degree of manipulation. But yeah, this is great news. There's a lot more in the article here that I could be reading, but I don't want to bore you with it. I just want to bring out the key point here in respect to this. It could be absolutely massive, this for Ripple. Again, it's all about bringing in that volume. It's bringing about the utility, and obviously as both of those increase, the demand will increase, thus the price increases. I think it's very early days at the moment, as Brad Garlinghouse has always stated. They've took the first step of a marathon, but as we can see the steps that follow that first step are already in the progress, and it is looking absolutely fantastic for Ripple. Like you say, the price is temporarily, progress is permanent, and they are making some progress. I'll drop the link down for this article. It's definitely worth a read. It also goes into the fact of Ripple with the 40 or the 50 central banks, but I've got a little bit of that anyway. So we'll move straight on to that in respect to that. So there's a lot of talk at the moment. Ripple working with 40 or 50 central banks. Where's this information coming from? Well, it's come straight from the tongue of a Ripple employee. And I'll just play this for you so you can hear exactly what it has to say.
So we have come a long way since the initial days of Bitcoin and blockchain, where the narrative back then was down with banks, down with central banks, down with governments. The philosophy then, initial days, was very anarchist, so to say. I think Ripple actually took a very contrarian view and actually said, no, we will be working with central banks, regulators and banks to make sure that our solution is widely adopted. And which is why I'm actually employed by Ripple, because so we actually work very closely with about 40-50 central banks across the globe, including Bank of Thailand. So Ripple has taken that approach of collaboration.
So as you've just heard him say himself, and this is a Ripple employee, bear in mind, and will be probably advised on exactly what he can and cannot say. But yeah, so we're working along very closely with 40 to 50 central banks, including the Bank of Thailand. Obviously, this is the Bangkok Fintech, so that becomes relevant when he does say that. But what will this mean for Ripple? This isn't necessarily to say that it's a partnership with these central banks, but it's working very closely with them. If Ripple do want to get the vision of what they actually want in respect of helping money move the same way that information does today, they do need to have these. They need to be in close contact with these entities, central banks. I know we know that Ripple have worked in respect to the Bank of England, which is where I'm from personally. But the main talking point to talk about with this, realistically, is when people think of central banks, you just think as central bank. But don't forget, it is these central banks that usually set interest rates for the country's banks, and then the retail banks will sort of suit and follow exactly what these central banks are doing. So if you want to put it in the way, a best way of putting it out is you could go straight for the snake's head in that respect, rather than individually speaking to all these individual banks of the countries. If we can just go straight to the central bank, get a good working partnership alongside them, give them the reassurances that they need, you know, go moving forward into the future, then the small banks that do follow suit underneath that will you know, eventually gain the trust in what Ripple are trying to do with the central banks. This is massive news. It shows that central banks are open and are actually in conversations and dialogue with Ripple themselves. As they can see, like I say, it's a revolution in respect of cross-border payments. You know, this is a service that can help customers, banks, central banks. It makes everything a lot faster, everything a lot liquid, and obviously that is the end goal of what Ripple is trying to achieve in that respect. Like I say, it's massive news. Not a week goes by where there's not a good key talking point about Ripple that you can actually speak about. rather than me putting a video out every day, I like to bundle in a little bit of information so I can just make like a decent quality video rather than it just being a little 5-6 second readout of an article, and, you know, just put my own personal views across it. But, you know, we're at a very, very, very infantile position at the moment in respect to digital assets, but as you can see, the foundations are well set in place for moving forward with Ripple. We've got payment providers that are jumping on Ripple left, right and centre at the moment, as you can see with the Moneygram, and then Walmart are connected to the Moneygram and then using Ripple in order to provide the service that they want to do for Walmart. Like you say, as Brad Garlinghouse has stated before, it's a working machine, and Ripple is just the oil, just to help lubricate, just to make things run smoothly and better and more efficient in that respect. It's great news, this, in respect to the central banks are actually open and are in dialogue, you know, in respect of this new technology, because there's no two ways about it. This technology will be used into the future. Give it 3, 5, 10 years. You know, look how far the internet has come from its first initial sort of, you know, attention media-wise in 1994. It took 20 years, and then look where social media was. You look at the likes of Facebook, who probably bringing around 9 billion in revenue just through marketing alone. I mean, that was probably never the end game that was set out, but that's just what it is. The use cases for XRP are just beyond the cross-border payment. We all concentrate on cross-border payment because, as Brad has said before, they don't want to cut themselves thin in that respect. But there'll be business models that will be revolved around XRP. There's already, you know, ICO startups, if you want to call it that are using the XRP ledger for that. And I think moving forwards into the future, we will see use cases that we can't even imagine at the moment. And the best way I like to put that is in respect of Uber. If you look at Uber couldn't function without the smartphone, but then you look at Uber and they're like, you know, they're pretty much taking out these private taxi firms bit by bit, especially in the area where I live, you know, and it's going to be less and less and less upon it. It'll just be like the market stalls got taken over by the supermarkets, and it'll work exactly the same in that respect. It's just unbelievable that we've got an opportunity at this moment in time to jump on board of such, you know, technology innovation, and you know, it's unbelievable. We're at a very, very, very critical point where we'll probably look back in the future, and this would have been a turning point the same way that the internet was. So yeah, well, finally, what we're going to talk about is this guy. If you are an XRP follower, you'll surely know who this person is here, Bearableguy. He's made predictions previously in the past. The thing that he does, he'll make them, but he does remove him from his post, so his old riddles are sort of removed in that respect. But there was one, as we know, Ripple donated 29 million to a charity, and he basically put a 10-day countdown, and each day it showed a child, and he had it encoded. It basically stated 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following day, Ripple then announced the news came out with the 29 million donation. There is also another post which I've struggled to find, but I'll just speak it through you. It shows Moneygram, and then it shows a lot of retail providers underneath, and it's got an arrow pointing to Walmart. And this was posted in January, this. So, you know, this guy, a lot of people are claiming him to be, you know, an insider of some sort, whether that's through Ripple. Fucking, a lot of people are saying fucking Illuminati, but you never know with that stuff. But more into the point, this is the new thing, and the XRP community are going mad over it. There's a lot of people speaking about this at the moment, and this is basically, it's a riddle. It's a picture within a riddle, and there's a lot of people throwing a lot of different assumptions of what it can mean. You know, people are throwing out the respect that it's got this tick here on the X, which has got some significance. This phoenix down here also plays a massive bit of significance. Let's just see if we can just find that actually for you. Why, man? Sorry about this. I should have preloaded this up. Let's just see if this comes up here. Sorry, I do apologise. Well, this is the image that I wanted to find, so I'm glad that I found it for you. So a lot of people are trying to throw this this image in respect of what we just spoke about. So get ready for, that's a bit of a poor one. Let's try and see if this is a better one for you to actually look at. Right, so it was up. So here we go. Can Britain keep booming? Sheeta comes to town, investment, blah blah. This basically was published in 1988. In 1988 this was published. Flashback 1988 as it comes up here. Get ready for a world currency by 2018. And as you can see on the pendant, it actually states 2018. You know, it's there's a lot of conspiracies around it. I mean, my head's been baffled with this. Get ready for a world currency by 2018. If we do look at sorry, that's the wrong one. If we do have a look at this, obviously a lot of people try to signify that's with it. This where it says persevere. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Now the picture's not zooming in. That's terrible. There we go. So a lot of people are saying as well, this persevere, the P actually looks like a 3 and a 0. And if you want to put that in tied in with the Phoenix, and we go back to this was done 30 years ago. Might you say, I mean, we might just be being done over here by this guy, by Bearableguy, but it's very, very interesting piece that he has drawn up. We've got the bear, obviously signifying something to the king. As you can see, the king's staff is broken. There's an infinity sign on the king. You know, we've got something here which looks like, you know, coming from the bear, a hand playing down. We've got, this has been decoded in the XRP chat, which I'm going to show you right now. Bear with me. I'm all over the show here at the moment with this, but basically it's been deciphered anyway, and it says along the words of Swift and other like sort of banking institutions. But as you can see, it's sort of being played, if you want to call it that, being played like a dummy. We've got the bear, we've got BTC in the USD, and we've got XRP, which obviously is a lot higher than the two. It's an absolutely mind fuck, this one, honestly. It's a big talking point. If there is any of you out there that do have any input on this whatsoever, what I try and do is start a comment section at the bottom in that respect. You know, we want to try and get a bit of talk within the community, just to try and help each other, you know, decipher what this actually means. Does it mean anything at all? Is it just a load of bollocks, or can it play some significance? Bear in mind, he's called shots in the past that have been successful. It's definitely worth talking about. I know it's not news or anything in that respect, but you know, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. There's a lot of people in the XRP community that are absolutely all over this at the moment. Again, there's no mouths on the king. You know, the points pointing towards the dumbhead. You've got the two symbols. We've got persevere, which can reflect to that, which obviously then reflects back to that article. Yeah, well, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that towards your attention. If there is anything, if anyone's got any opinion on it, just throw it down in the comment section. I'll be there. I'll be replying to you all fucking day with this one, I promise you now. Obviously, I'm all over this fucking shit, but this is it's a very, very, I don't know. I'd like to understand what it means, if it means anything at all, but yeah, it was only a bit of a short episode in that respect. Obviously, if you've liked the video, just give us a thumbs up. Obviously, subscribe to the channel. We're all over Ripple. That's what I talk about most of the time when I'm on this channel. But yeah, overall, it's looking great. The Moneygram and Walmart for me has got me really excited. I mean, we talk about needing Ripple with exposure. You cannot get better exposure than Walmart. The amount of people that will be walking in there every day, if they see a little flyer in there, I'll use Moneygram. We can send, you know, $1,000 over to whatever country. It'll be done in seconds for a fraction of a penny. That is exposure. It's great news, and obviously we've got to talk with central banks again. It's great. It just shows that the dialogue's there with the banks. If we are looking for that mass adoption with the XRP and XRapid products, you know, we definitely do need to be in good dialogue with these central banks. And I just think overall, although the price is on its arse currently, I think we've just got all the news that we do need. Obviously, the price isn't really bouncing off the news as it used to do. I think that was just a bit of market mania where everyone was buying into the news and selling out the rumours. I'm glad that it's stable, that, you know, it's not actually having that effect as it is. We've also got talks about Western Union obviously being launched on the 18th of April. Again, whether that's speculation or the truth, we can only find out. But this is definitely a year where we're going from, you know, this is what we can do with XRP, to actually this is what we are doing with XRP. If Western Union go live, Moneygram go live. If Moneygram go live, it sounds like they're definitely going to have to, if they're offering Walmart this service. Western Union are going to have to go live, because you can't allow Moneygram to run away with the business. There's just going to be competition left, right and centre through what XRP are offering. You know, say goodbye to all the days of large transaction fees and waiting times. They will be over. I think this area, this space, the blockchain in a whole, I think it's just going to blow the fuck up in everybody's faces, and it's going to happen in a very short term. It took a while for internet adoption, but obviously from the internet we got the movement of information, which was pretty instantly. And you know, when we've got a technology based on the internet, which information moves as freely as it does, then, you know, in this respect, I think it's going to blow up. I think by 2020, I think it's just going to be absolutely fucking unreal what's actually happened in blockchain. And this is why we've got the channel here for you, to just try and educate you on it, to try and keep you up to date with the news, just to try and show you the impact that blockchain is having throughout all sectors. If it was worthless, believe me, 40 to 50 central banks would not have any dialogue of any sort with Ripple. But yeah, it's been a good one. If you've liked it, again, subscribe, like the video. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We've just signed up on Steam it, where we're going to be blogging our way there. So that's another platform that we've opened up. But yeah, cheers. Thanks again for tuning in, lads and girls. Sorry, may I add?